Trinesha, Catrell.
Hi, this is Trinesha Catrell, and welcome to First Love Yourself, where love, life, and Christ combine. I am so grateful to have you here on this journey of self discovery and empowerment with me. In today's video, we're going to talk about clarity. But before we get started, if you're new here, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on more uplifting and empowering content like this. So get comfortable because we are about to get into it. Let's go. Let me start off by saying I will not be on here long. I know it's super late. People got to work in the morning, all of the things. So I'm going to try to keep it brief and brilliant, like they say on Hardly Initiated. But seriously. So what made me think about clarity is earlier today, I was thinking about different things in life and how sometimes things can be so confusing. And a lot of the times people will say confusion is not of God. You know, God is not the author of confusion, is what they'll usually say. And it's so true. If you're ever in a situation, if you ever are questioning something, and I don't mean like you don't know God's whole blueprint for your life. I mean, you're talking to someone, you're thinking about a job, all of the things, and you just feel so confused. I just don't know what to do. And you prayed on it. And it's like the more you prayed or the more stuff you're doing, the more confused you get about this person, place, or thing in your life, then you know that's not of God. God will never have you confused. You might not know what's going to happen in the future, but you will not be confused about the decisions that you need to make in your life or about that person, place, or thing that's a part of your life. When you friends with somebody, you don't have to say, are we friends? You're going to know y'all friends because it's not going to be confusing. When you're in a relationship or you're getting into a relationship, it's not going to be like, I guess we kind of together, we kind of not together. You're gonna know, like we go together. When you at work, you're not gonna have to question if you got the job or not. If you in the position, you got the job. You know, it's not a confusing thing. And so clarity is one of those things that have been really illuminating in my mind today. And it's important that when we're going through life, we get clear on what our vision is. We get clear on the steps that we're going to take to go towards the future that we want to have in life. You don't ever want to go through life just guessing, just going with the flow, just letting things be what they are. You know, the only thing that needs to flow is God. If God's flowing in something, you good. But when you going with the flow, oh my gosh, talk about confusing. There is nothing clear about going with any flow because without direction, you don't know what path you're taking. If you don't know where you're heading in life, you will never know where you're going. You don't have a plan, you don't have an action, you don't have goals for yourself. Setting goals is so important so you can have a clear vision for your trajectory so you don't just go all over the place. When you really want to accomplish something, you have to set goals. You have to make sure that you're sticking to those goals and standards for your life so that you can have the best life that you could possibly live. I had, as an adult, I did not know, and people did not tell me you got to have all these hard conversations with people. Like, I was not, I was not aware that I was going to have to really be about that, like, clarity life. I was going to really have to ask hard questions and be upfront and be honest about the things that I feel, that I see, anything that I'm going through in life. And sometimes it's difficult because you gonna laugh at me and you might think this is super funny. But when I first started dating, I was like, in my head, I was like, when I get ready to date, I'm gonna meet this perfect person. We're gonna be together. It's just gonna be a thing, right? I had no idea that there were gonna be people that liked me, that I could have the choice to say, no, I don't like that person, or I'm not interested in that person. I had no idea it was gonna be people that liked me that I wouldn't be into like that, or it would be people that I would have to have a conversation with and like actually say like how I truly feel. Like I didn't know that was gonna be a thing. I just thought it was gonna be easy breezy. In my head, it was just like it fell together like a Hallmark movie. Not that I believed in fairy tales or any of that other stuff or fallacies. I thought it was gonna be easy. I was like, I'm trained up. I've been reading these books. I got my full armor of God on. I'm about that dating life. Like I'm ready. What's coming? You know, what's good? And then life hit. And I was like, oh wow, like you gotta really be intentional. I can't just not say anything and people know what I'm thinking. I gotta really be honest about where I stand. I gotta really be real in every situation. And I had no idea it was gonna be that difficult. Like being an adult, when it comes to stuff like that is hard, because you really think I'm gonna go to work every day and bills just gonna be paid because I go to work. No, you gotta actually budget. You gotta make sure you make enough money to pay these bills. Like, you gotta really be intentional and clear on what it is that you can afford in order to be able to do the things you want to do in life. And it's so funny how it seems so simple, but they say common sense is not as common. And I'm not saying I'm not a very intelligent person, but in my head, I just knew, like, because I prepared all this time for relationships, I was just going to be right out the bat. I was going to know for sure it was going to be easy peasy. I could just tell right away if this person was or wasn't going to be a part of my life. And I could just be in a relationship, the end. You know, I had no idea I was going to meet people who were not going to see my value like I see my value. I had no idea that just because God loved me meant that nobody else was going to love me, or people were not going to choose me. I had no idea that I wouldn't choose those people. I really didn't know what to expect, but I definitely didn't expect this. And now that I know, I'm trying to be hopeful, but I'm also trying to stay focused on God and be serving, because I don't want this thing to be idolized. I don't want me being single to be idolized, or me being in a relationship to be idolized. And so I'm trying to, like, really pray and just leave it in God's hands so that He could show me how to be a good steward of this season in the right way, so that I could say the things that will be that won't be hurtful or harsh. Because, oh, when I first came out in this single season, I was not ready to date or anything. I was a little harsh. I wasn't mean, but I was blunt. And so I talked to a lot of people who really cared about me and loved me, and they told me I need to reel it back. Don't be that harsh. And so I've been a lot more pleasant and nice, and I say things in a very respectful way, regardless, anyways. But now I take a moment to think about the things that I'm going to say before I know it's going to hurt somebody's feelings, or I might be stepping on somebody's toes, because I'm the type of person who likes to be 100% honest at all times. And so, and when I say all times, people won't take that to heart. Most of the times, I like to be honest. If I'm not being honest, it's because I'm trying to, like, protect someone's feelings, not because I don't want to be honest. But like 98% of the time, if you ask me a question, I'm gonna tell you the truth. So just be cautious. Do you really want to know the answer to this question, or do you think I'm just gonna tell you what you want to hear? Because I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna be honest in the most respectful, kind way that I possibly can. So if you want to know the truth, come to me. If you don't want to know the truth, then ask somebody else. Because I mean that with the most loving, kindest heart that I could possibly muster up in this moment. I don't mean it in like a dig or anything like that. I really try to be, like, really honest, because the truth will set you free. I don't want to be the type of person who's holding back, that's holding someone else back from being the best version of themselves because I wasn't honest. I want them to know that they deserve the best in life, that they really truly should be clear on what it is that they want. If someone says, something about food, if they ask me a question about food, because I eat healthy most of the time, then I'll tell them, hey, this really isn't good for you. Some people don't want to hear it. Some people do. Some people will ask me, does this hairstyle look good? And I'll say, do you like it? If it looks a mess, I'll say, maybe try something else. But I try to be, like, really kind and conscientious of the nasal thing. I don't know what's going on, but I try to be really conscious of other people's feelings and not just make it a harsh thing or a rash, like, really blunt thing. And so in this season, while we are walking through the season, I really think it's the time for us to be clear on what it is we want in life, in relationships, at work, in general. Like, if you want to be a millionaire or billionaire, start taking steps today to become a millionaire or billionaire. Don't idolize that thing, but work for it. If you really want to be in a relationship, start being intentional. Start being clear on what it is that you want in a person. And I don't mean a 3-4 page list. I mean, if something really matters to you, if something's really important to you, don't play around and say, well, you're not serious. I'm just going to sit there and just, it is what it is right now until I get serious. Because if that person is, it is what it is, then they're not taking you serious. And then you wasted all this time talking to somebody who's never going to be in a relationship. You got to really make sure that you know what you want. If your goal is marriage, then you want to be with someone who is dating intentionally. You don't want to be with someone who's just out and about. You know, you want to make sure that you are preparing in the off season. If you want to be in a good friendship, you have to learn how to be a great friend. Don't just expect somebody to give to you and you can't give nothing to them. I I really want to make sure that in this season I am appreciating and loving on people in the right way. Like, I want them to know that regardless of what they do for me, I want to give something to them. Like, my best friend, I want her to know how important she is to me. I want her to know, I want my best friend to know that she matters. And so, regardless of if she does or does not do something for me, I want her to know that she matters, that she's important, that she's special, that I care. My family and friends, regardless of what they do or don't do for me, I want them to know that they matter to me and they care. When God sends a person into my life, regardless of what they do, hopefully they treat me well. They will treat me well because I won't be with them if they don't. But when they treat me well, I want them to know that I care about them. And regardless of what they do for me, it's up to me to only control the things that I can do in my life. And so in this season, I really think clarity is necessary. To have you here on this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys probably Sunday. God willing, I will be here Sunday. If I feel it in my spirit, if I get home early enough tomorrow or Saturday, I will be on here. But more than likely, I will be here on Sunday. So thank you so much for watching. Bye.